Hi everybody, TJ Mag Vintage Cards here, and today I'm doing my second reveal for my new project of putting together the vintage hockey greats from the 1950s until 1963. So it's been an exciting project for me that I've been really interested in because I don't know a lot about these players from that time, so it's been a lot of fun researching them and acquiring the cards. Not as easy to get as the baseball and even the football cards from that era. So it's been some challenges, but I have picked some up and I'm revealing them over a period of trying to do probably one each week to start, and then we'll kind of to see how it goes from there. So the first one that I showed in my last video when I talked about just where the state of collecting is for me in this new project was this Gordie Howe 1957 Topps. Just a beautiful card. Was very happy to get this one. The next one is a card that I've been trying to get for a long time, even before I wanted to do this project, because I didn't have any of his cards in my collection. And he's not necessarily super expensive per se. It's hard to find his cards at what I think is a good market price for them. So I was really thrilled to pick this one up, and this is the specific year that I wanted because I just love this card of his, and that is the great Maurice Rocket Richard. He's just one of those players that when you saw play, he just captivated you. I mean, he was probably the greatest goal scorer of all time, even though he doesn't have the most goals of all time. Just a pure goal scorer, similar to what you see from Alexander Ovechkin today. So I'll tell you a little bit about him. He won 8 Stanley Cups. He was a 14-time All-Star. He won 1 Hart Trophy for MVP. He was a 5-time goal-scoring leader. He was the first player to score 50 goals in 50 games in the 1940-45 season. And that was an achievement that was unmatched until 1981 when Mike Bossy did it. And Richard, he was one of these guys that again, just like the football videos I talk about, you think of like American and Canadian life, I guess, when you're thinking of hockey, is being real civil during those times, and it was in a lot of ways, but the sports were a lot more physical back then than what you see today. For example, like when Richard was going for the 50 goals, he had 49 goals with 8 games left in the season, and it took him another 8 games to get that 50th because teams were just doing everything they could to stop him from scoring. They were slashing him, hooking him, and you even had players that were draping themselves on his back. So again, he went 8 games without scoring, and then in the last game of the season against the Boston Bruins, he scored that 50th goal with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left remaining in the game. So really just, again, remarkable times, and he was a guy that got in a lot of fights. He was very heavily keyed on when he played, and he had the puck in his hands. Just a remarkable player, and just to show how beloved this guy was in Montreal by the French Canadians, is that he got in an altercation with a linesman in 1955, a physical altercation, and then he was suspended for the rest of the season and including the playoffs, and they had what they called the Richard Riot. The fans rioted around the stadium, and they did property damage. There was over 100 arrests, 30 plus people injured, and this is what this guy meant to that community, meant to the French Canadian people. So Richard, he was the first player to ever score 500 goals in his career. Excelled under pressure, was a great playoff performer. He had 82 playoff goals, 6 in overtime. He had 7 playoff hat tricks. And again, just a marvelous player. And I was going to share just a quick quote from Glenn Hall, who is the Hall of Fame goaltender for the Chicago Blackhawks, and he had this to say about Richard. What I remember most about the Rocket was his eyes. When he came flying toward you with the puck in the stick, his eyes were all lit up, flashing and gleaming like a pinball machine. It was terrifying. Richard retired. This is his last card after the 1960-61 season. The Hockey Hall of Fame waived their usual three-year waiting period and immediately inducted him in 1961. And I love this card. I love the full body shot. Love the beautiful yellow background on it. Just a marvelous example of a Rocket Richard card. And you can start to see it coming together now. The first 2 players in the case. This case is just going to look beautiful when it's done, when all these players are together. Got a few more coming in. that I'll share in future episodes. Appreciate you watching, and have a great night.